We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Very good beginning. Welcome to DBL. It's Thursday, February 18th. I'm here, Tori. I'm Tori, here.
You sounded like you were yelling at yourself.
No,
Tori, no.
No. Tori, get it right.
What are we talking about before we come in the store?
You're going to read the prompter correctly with Alan Lindsay, and I love hearing your laugh. That's the best thing. Isn't it the best sound in the world?
I appreciate that, Tori.
It really is.
Every day you make me laugh.
I love it. All right. Well, for the fifth straight day now, Texas is in turmoil. Millions are still without power, and now millions now don't have water because treatment plants are down. So the food supply has also been disrupted, and many politicians and some news outlets falsely claimed that frozen wind turbines and the Green New Deal had brought down power to the state. So we want to clear that up for everyone. No political motive aside, some turbines, but the loss of power was primarily caused by shutdowns in power plants running on natural gas. Now that's according to multiple sources. Even a reactor at one of the state's 2 nuclear power plants went dark. Meantime, there's a ton of video highlighting what people are going through, and some of these are our viewers, and we are just wishing you all the best. Pipes are bursting in buildings and apartments, even in parking garages. That's in Texas, y'all.
Wow.
Leaving people having to deal with cars frozen into ice blocks. There are also frozen ceiling fans, frozen faucets. Even that soap bottle behind it is frozen. One person on TikTok posted this video of her daughter's fish tank that had frozen solid. Wow. Another person had a very close call when their dog fell through the ice on their frozen pool. The owner fell in trying to rescue the dog. I do have good news. Everyone, including the pup, is thankfully safe. And check this out. Volunteers have rescued thousands of sea turtles. I've seen this everywhere. They became stunned by the cold water offshore, and they're now being kept warm at these warming stations at the convention center in South Padre Island. Our fellow Americans are suffering. I think this is despicable. I think our country looks embarrassing. But I also want to discuss that we did have evidence that a sitting senator from that state, Ted Cruz, went to vacation to Cancun. This was yesterday. You saw it go viral. These are pictures of Senator Ted Cruz on the plane. We can confirm from multiple sources he is in Cancun. Meanwhile, Beto O'Rourke and other people are making calls, trying to find volunteers. And again, I'm trying to take politics out of this. If this was someone I liked who went, I would still find this absolutely appalling.
How do you propose to take politics out of this?
Because I'm saying if a Democrat did this or a very liberal person did this, I would call that person straight out as a person that should never get voted into office again.
Well, that's my issue. It's just like we vote these politicians in, Lindsay and Tori, because they fight. He's a fighter. She's a fighter. She even posed in her congressional photo with an AR-15. You know, she's not about the jokes. But yeah, you're going to fight. But I want somebody with some skill. Somebody that's prepared. We do know about the concept of bad weather, right? We're aware of that happens from time to time. What plans do you have? I don't care if you can fight. I don't care if you can own somebody on Twitter. Lindsay, I want to know what happens when the blank hits the fan. And that's what I want to know from my politicians.
I think it's frustrating when you have an incident like this. Even if we look back at last year when we had COVID pop up and then we started the blame game from both Democrats and Republicans, it's not the time when people are suffering, like you said, to be blaming about who did what about wind turbines. Let's figure out how to get these people warm. I know kids in Texas that are having to go to other parts of Texas to keep warm. Like you said, some people that we know, I mean, they were playing in the snow the first day, but now it's critical where all their food is going bad. Gas stations are closed. And so I think that aside from him going to Cancun, because I appreciate people taking time for themselves, this wasn't the right time for that. I just think it's not time to play the blame game on why this happened and just fix it and figure out how to prevent it in the future.
I agree. The optics are not great on that one. All right. Well, did we just see Serena Williams play her last match? Serena lost yesterday in the Australian Open semis to Naomi Osaka. She waved to the crowd as she left the court, and she was then asked about the defeat in this very emotional press conference and if this was her way of saying goodbye to the sport. Check out her response. Saying it was not an ideal outcome or performance, but it happens. She told fans she was forever in their debt and grateful to each and every one of them. There's a lot of speculation that she may be retiring soon. What do you think? And what do you make of that press conference? You can sort of feel her pain of like, I just don't want to go there, or I'm gonna just implode.
I think there's like two sides. So knowing when to bow out as one of the greatest of all times has to be hard. Whether you're an artist, whether you're Michael Jordan,
competitive too,
right? That goes to another sport, but then also being a woman that had a baby, literally birthed the baby with complications, and still wants to be at the top of your game. I think Serena Williams is going through a moment where she's watching somebody a little bit younger than her beat her in the same way that she beat people when she was the young new person coming in. And so that for a woman I think is hard to deal with, especially when you still want to be great. And she's probably just going through life as somebody that's aging and maturing.
It's got to be scary. Like we forget we're kind of normal people. She's not. She's been playing tennis at a high level probably since she was 5. This has taken up 8 to 10 hours of her day since she was 5, and now she's staring at life with none of that. It's just a wide open.
It's a big
think about
abyss.
how scary that would be. So I think she's just trying to process what the next 2/3 of her life is going to be. It's something most people don't have to deal with.
That's very true. Well, speaking of this, I want to get your input on this. This is such an interesting story. Gymnast Simone Biles ain't happy with ESPN because of this image celebrating the greatest athletes of all time. Take a look around.
Calves.
They're like, oh God. Or GOATs, as they're known. It features male athletes like Muhammad Ali, you got Tom Brady, we got Michael Jordan, we got Babe Ruth, we got Tiger Woods. We're the ladies. In response, Simone tweeted, "There's so many women I can think of that belong in this photo, yet there are none." Others noted that the image seems to definitely include one if you zoom in real hard.
She looks like a fan.
That appears to be, we think, Serena Williams, but Simone suggested many female athletes were overlooked, like Katie Ledecky, Alex Morgan, Lindsey Vonn, Megan Rapinoe, and more. Rapinoe, excuse me. What do you think of ESPN leaving so many women out? Is this super sexist? I mean, Serena and Simone, in my mind, should have been there front and center. That's like, what?
I mean,
really, you're not convinced?
You're not annoyed? Lindsay has to say. No, I want to hear what Lindsay has to say.
Well, I don't know sports as well as everybody else, but I do know that when you watch sports channels or when you look at what's going on with sports, you don't see women in the same way that I think you should. And I think that this is a sign that it's just a normal thing. Whoever put that graphic together, it didn't even cross their mind to put all these women that Simone Biles named in this picture. And so I would be offended. I understand as a top-performing athlete why Simone Biles said that.
The greatest of all time. Like Serena Williams to be not there. Simone Biles is the most medaled gymnast that we have.
I wish we had more time. Honestly, Serena should have been front and center, without a doubt. But after that, when we start talking about the greatest of all time, we're talking about everybody on the street knows who you are. Megan Rapinoe, who had a great summer with our soccer team, you mispronounced her name. That's not on you. It's because she's not a household name like that. These are just facts, and it's because they're not on TV. It's because people don't tune in. So we need to focus on that problem, because once we figure out that, well, this won't be a problem anymore, because everybody will just be like, where's Megan at?
All right, let us know what you think. Coming up on DBL, our week-long series, Nighttime Soap Stars, Where Are They Now, continues with Charlene Tilton from Dallas.
My girl.
Al just, okay, she's telling us what's
that was cute.
Yeah, it was cute. What working with the legendary Larry Hagman was like. And Dr. Coley joins us to answer some questions about the coronavirus vaccine. You really don't want to miss this important info coming up next.
Are wind and solar power the main causes of widespread power shortages in Texas? Why are we talking about this? Well, millions in the Lone Star State are still without power, and now politicians are pointing their fingers at renewable energy sources, saying they're to blame. But is that actually what's happening? Our sources here are multiple reports from the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT, and Texas Governor Greg Abbott. First, we need to explain that Texas has its own independent power grid. That makes it difficult for them to borrow power from other regions. Now, 90% of the Texas grid is managed by ERCOT. Right now, they report that 185 generating units have gone offline during these storms because of, quote, a combo of frozen wind turbines, limited gas supplies, low gas pressure, and frozen instrumentation. Texas Governor Abbott says one of the biggest problems is frozen natural gas pipes.
It's just frozen right now. It's frozen in the pipeline. It's frozen at the rig. It's frozen in the transmission line.
So,
and
Governor,
so they are incapable, the natural gas providers are incapable of being able to come up with a gas that feeds into the generators that generate the power that will send power to people's residences.
ERCOT says a total of 46,000 megawatts of potential power can't be generated right now. 61% of that loss is from thermal sources like natural gas, coal, and nuclear plants. Only 39% is from solar and wind energy. That means the claims that wind and solar power are the main cause of the current power shortages in Texas are false. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
Welcome back to DBL. We're about a year into the pandemic. Can you believe that? Crazy. I can't. Wow. All right. We've got some good news to kick off today's discussion. We're seeing the number of new coronavirus cases continue to fall, and they're now at rates comparable to those in late October of last year. Dr. Payal Kohli joins us live. Doc, hello. How are you? And do you think this is because of the vaccines or the attitude and the handling of the virus, or both?
Hi guys, so I think it's actually both. I think we have gotten smarter living alongside the virus. We've learned how to wear those masks and incorporate them into our routine. We're more hygienic, we're washing our hands more, we're traveling less. So all of us, except for Senator Ted Cruz, I think are following the rules quite well. And that's certainly part of this. But I also think that the vaccine has started to make a dent. So if you look at the national numbers, we vaccinated about 12% of the country, which is 1 out of every 10 people. Wow. And even though we talk about that threshold of 70%, even at this rate, because the vaccine is so effective, I do think it started to make a dent. There's also some literature that the virus life cycle follows what's called a seasonality, so it ebbs and flows, so that could be part of it. And we're coming down from the post-holiday surge, so the numbers are going down largely because they were so high a month ago. So I still want to encourage everybody to keep their guard up, because as a friend of mine from Harvard likes to say, it's sort of like saying, oh, your blood pressure is well controlled now, so you don't need to take your medication anymore. So that's not the case. Even though we're in a good place, we still got to continue to do what we're doing.
Her friend from Harvard.
Yes. All right. Well, Doc, we've spoken, both about the South African and the UK variant. But before you could give us an update on how those vaccines are working, can you let us know how they're working against the variants?
Yeah,
way,
great,
Dr.
really
Kohli,
important
I totally
question.
messed the question up because I had to look at another monitor. And the joy that Lindsay and Tori got from me stumbling through that, that'll be my gift to them this holiday season.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Continue. I'm sorry, Doctor.
You know, Al, I know exactly what you're asking, even though you asked it wrong, because we're so connected. We're telepathically connected.
Here.
So I have a little bit of sobering science that I want to share with you guys this morning. So just yesterday in the New England Journal of Medicine, they published 2 studies about both the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine showing that the efficacy against the South African variant in terms of how many antibodies are made is reduced. So with Moderna, there was a 6-fold reduction in the number of neutralizing antibodies we made against the South African variant in people who had been vaccinated. And with Pfizer, it was a 2/3 reduction. So, but the good news is with the Pfizer vaccine, they showed that it was still able to neutralize the virus. So it seems like we're making less antibodies, but clinically that may still mean that we can continue to fight the virus if we get vaccinated. But I do think it's a little sobering for us to hear this news because it's important to keep those variants in check. But I want to say that the take-home message that I really think is important is that get whatever vaccine you can get. Because even though they're not working perfect, they're not working 94, 95%, they still seem to be offering some protection. And down the line, you could always get a booster or something if you need to do so.
Get the vaccine whenever you can. Thank you so much, Doc. We'll be right back. Thank you, Al, for that great performance.
decades, humans have imagined little green men and saucers flying down from Mars. Science and space exploration have yet to prove they exist, but NASA's newest rover, Perseverance, is set out to prove that there was life on the red planet. First, it has to go through the 7 minutes of terror. The rover will have no help landing from Earth because of the radio signal lag time. Once safely on the surface, the rover will head to the site of an ancient lake for its first mission. Perseverance will search for microfossils, proof of life, and collect samples that will return to Earth by the 2030s. Tagging along on the mission is Ingenuity, a helicopter that NASA will try to fly on Mars. If it stays airborne, it could change the way scientists explore in space.
Welcome back to DBL. Dallas remains one of the most popular shows ever. Sometimes 90 million people tuned in to a single episode. Earlier, we caught up with a star who helped make it a hit, Charlene Tilton. Check out our series, Nighttime Soap Stars. Where are they now?
Anybody home? Hello.
I'm here, JR. Want to talk to me?
Lucy, what the hell are you doing here?
Oh, it's nice to see you, too.
Oh, you guys, there she is. It's Charlene Tilton. So we just watched a scene between your character, Lucy, and JR, played by Larry Hagman, of course. Yeah. You called him Uncle Larry. How close did you two become? I know that you guys were pretty good friends.
Larry was a real force of nature. There's nobody like him. The minute we met, he had a big sort of bread truck thing that he would drive around in and had champagne, and he was the life of the party. He always kept us all together. So he was amazing. He was a real father figure to me. I learned a lot from him. One of the greatest actors ever.
Yes.
Absolutely. Charlene, thanks for being here. I just wanted a quick question from you. You were one of the youngest characters on Dallas, but you almost didn't get the part because you were so young. Tell me about that.
I was 17. I had read in Dramalog, a magazine where they were casting for the part of Lucy Ewing, and I read the synopsis of the show and the character description, and Barbara Miller, who was a wonderful casting director, she has since passed away, was casting, and she had put me in 8 is Enough and other shows, and I snuck into the studio to Warner Brothers every day for about 2 weeks and went to the office and begged them, don't try it now because security is too tight, you won't make it in. But finally, after 2 weeks of bombarding, she finally said, come back tomorrow at 5 o'clock. They would not give me a script to study, so that day I was supposed to come in. I went at 1 o'clock when I knew her and her assistant, Irene Mariano, were going to be at lunch. I went into her office, rifled through her desk, and stole the script and went and worked with my acting coach, Jeff Corey, and came in and did my audition at 5 o'clock that day.
That is bold.
I love those stories.
Dude,
those are my favorite. Those are my
props.
I mean, that's how television works. It's just like these crazy stories about how things went down. And like, Charlene, honestly, talking to you is really talking to a part of my childhood, because I'm from the era where there was just one TV in the house, and my Aunt Marilyn watched Dallas more religiously than she went to church, and she was a church-going woman. So I have seen you, like, you have no idea. So I'm gonna wear, I'm gonna wear a 10-gallon hat in honor of you and Larry.
It's a good look, buddy.
Let me put some black man swag on there.
Now see, yeah. If you would have been on the show looking like that, Lucy would have been all over you, honey.
Hey, that's what I like to hear.
In fact, so we had Patrick Duffy on the other day, and he described Lucy as his very words were, you know, sleeping with everybody, including the family tractor. I don't even know what that means, but I know. But Charlene, I wanted to ask you, when you were out and about in public, did you ever have any fans think that you were exactly like your character?
I am so petite. I'm only 5'2", and for some reason, when fans would come up to me, because I'm petite or whatever, they would touch me and grab my face and my hair and touch me. Where if they would come up to Victoria, because she's, you know, got this elegance and beauty and this elegance to her, they would come up to her and love her, but they wouldn't like grab onto her, and you know. So mine was very different. But people were always so nice, and they still are.
Well, you are a rock star forever and ever. Charlene Tilton, thank you so much for being here. Albert, oh my gosh, I can't. Charlene, thank you. We'll be right back. Thanks, Charlene.
Love you and blessings to all of you. Thank you.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Verify exists to bring you the facts on what you see online. And you might have seen posts like these saying that women should get their mammograms either before or several weeks after getting the COVID-19 vaccine. So let's verify. Is this true? Here are our sources. Dr. Lisa Mullen, an assistant professor of radiology at Johns Hopkins University. Dr. Latasha Perkins, a physician and professor at Georgetown University. And the Society of Breast Imaging. Our experts say that the problem comes down to a very common vaccine side effect.
The lymph nodes swell when you're reacting to a vaccine because the lymph nodes are the organ that are a part of the immune system.
Dr. Perkins tells us that your lymph nodes also swell when your body is fighting off viruses and infections. And Dr. Mullen says that this can complicate things when you're looking for cancer because a swollen lymph node could be a sign of something more serious.
Where we're doing a screening mammogram, we're looking for breast cancer. And sometimes breast cancer can present just as a swollen lymph node. The COVID vaccine does cause a very prominent immune response, and that's what makes the lymph nodes larger. What we don't necessarily want is to cause the patient to have extra anxiety.
The Society of Breast Imaging put out this notice, suggesting that screening should be scheduled before you get your COVID-19 vaccine or 4 to 6 weeks after your second dose. But our experts stress this does not mean that there's some connection between breast cancer and the vaccine. This is just a way to avoid false positives. So we can verify that yes, experts do say that you should plan your mammogram appointment around your COVID-19 vaccine. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
At DBL, we're always on.
I'm in control. You're trying to give a conversation up here.
Shouldn't he be held accountable?
Absolutely.
This is where I'm going to push back. Is this my shocked face?
Tori, I will walk up the set.
You should.
This February, DBL is all new.
I agree with Al on this one.
Every day.
Yeah, wow, I said it, Tori. Yo.
I'm in control.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for some sweet, sweet deals. Earlier, Steph showed me some amazing products at even better prices. Here's today's Deal Blast, presented by MorningSave.com. All right, Steph, what do you have for us today?
First up, I've got the perfect item for this cold time of year. Check this out. It's the Green Tech Pure Heat Wave Heater. So this heater is the perfect way to heat up any small space in your home. Look at it go. Perfect for an office on a cold morning. So normally this is as much as $79, but we've got it for only $44, saving up to 44%. Next up, it's the 72-pack Harry and David individual coffee cups. These convenient single-serve cups make it easy for you to brew a delicious cup of premium gourmet coffee right in the comfort of your own home. It's made with 100% Arabica coffee bean and it's compatible with all Keurig K-Cup brewers. Normally, it's as much as $48, but we've got it for only $19, saving up to 60%. And Tori, this Pure Sonic USB rechargeable oral irrigator water flosser is the perfect way to do just that. And it also massages and stimulates your gums to improve circulation and stay healthy. Normally, it's as much as $60, but we've got it for $25, saving our viewers 58%.
Everyone, you know you're supposed to floss, and everyone knows they don't want to floss.
Yeah.
This is the 2021 way to do it.
I know.
Brilliant.
Lastly, it's the Diamond Muse 1/10 of a carat diamond pendant or earrings. This is gorgeous. This necklace and earrings are both 1/10 of a carat diamond and made of sterling silver. Okay, well, normally it's as much as $105.
Oh my Lord, okay.
We've got real diamonds for $19. Saving up to 82%.
Oh, I love good savings and diamonds. All right, everyone, head on over to morningsave.com to snag seriously these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone. Thank you so much, Steph. All right, we got great comments. Leslie says, good old Ted Cruz is drinking a margarita in a sunny Mexico while Texas goes to crap. That's how people really feel. T says, such a joke, political as always. And David says, pray for Ted to get it together. We hope Texas gets together. We love
Texas
our viewers. Yeah, I'm rooting for Texas. All right, goodbye to our coworkers at home today. When the pandemic is over, you bet we'll be together. DBL is new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. I agree with Al on this one. Every day.
Yeah, wow, I said it, Tori. Yo.
Thank you.